Okay, today we're going to talk about prepositions and prepositional phrases. What are prepositions? Prepositions are words that connect a noun or pronoun to the rest of the sentence. For example, John dove into the water. The preposition is the word into. It connects the noun, water, to the rest of the sentence. There are 51 prepositions we will study. They include words like aboard, about, above, across, after, against, before, below, between, despite, down, during, in, into, inside, out, outside, through, throughout, until. Just like adverbs, prepositions can show direction, time, and location. So you'll notice a lot of these can also be adverbs. Later on, I'm going to show you a trick to help you remember to know if it's an adverb or a preposition. There are 51 prepositions, and I'm not going to make you memorize all of them, but it'd be a really good idea to study them as often as you can to help you memorize them because you are going to see them throughout your academic career. So you might as well learn them now so you don't have to learn them later. How do I find a preposition? You ask what or whom after the word that you think is a preposition. If the answer to the questions what or whom is a noun, then it is a preposition. Let's look at another example. Sandy put the doll on the table. Ask on what? Table. Table is a noun, so on is a preposition. Well, Mrs. Zehr forgot a comma between noun and so. Whoops. How are prepositions labeled? Prepositions are labeled with a P. Here is another example. The green frog jumped over the log. We label over with P. Later on, we're going to figure out what to do with the noun. What is the noun that is a preposition what is the noun that a preposition connects to the rest of the sentence called? It's called the object of the preposition. So an object of the preposition is the noun or pronoun after the preposition that answers what or whom. How do we label the object of the preposition? Object of the preposition, that shouldn't have an S on it, are labeled with an OP. Here's an example. The green frog jumped over the log. This OP should actually be on log. For some reason, when it went full screen, it didn't move it. So OP would be log. Over what? Log, object of the preposition. Okay, oops, did it again. How can you tell if it's an adverb or a preposition? Here's the hint I told you about earlier. Some words can be an adverb or a preposition. Here's a hint to help you know which one the word is. A preposition is never alone. It must always have an object of the preposition. For example, the puppy fell down. Down is an adverb by itself. Down is, excuse me, down with a noun is going to be a preposition. So down what? Stairs. Stairs would be our object of the preposition. Prepositional phrases. Prepositions and objects of the preposition create what is called a prepositional phrase. A phrase in English means a group of words that belong together. A prepositional phrase begins with a preposition and ends with an object of the preposition. Mrs. Zehr calls prepositional phrases pops because you always have to start with a preposition and you always have to end with a preposition. Okay, so how do I label a prepositional phrase? This is a little bit different because you don't actually label it with words other than the preposition and object of the preposition, or you don't label it with letters. You actually label it with parentheses. So a phrase is labeled with parentheses around the preposition and the object of the preposition. So here are two examples. John slept until morning. Until is your preposition and morning is your object of the preposition. So we're going to put parentheses around both. All right, then Grace tripped on the hose. On is your preposition. Hose is their object of the preposition. Now we had an article adjective in here. This is what Mrs. Zehr calls a flavored pop. You know how there's like cherry, vanilla, Dr. Pepper, and At Sonic, you can make your own drinks with different flavors. I could have a vanilla Dr. Pepper or whatever. So I call them flavored pops because they have something in between the preposition and object of the preposition. You'll hear me say it quite a bit. Okay, here's a trick to remember prepositions. A preposition is anywhere a superhero can fly. Through an alley, across the ocean, around the world, into a burning building, despite the bad guys, over a building, among the clouds. Those are just some examples. And it might help you to remember. So just if you are unsure, you can say, hey, can a superhero fly or do this? All right, now here's your turn. Write one sentence using the preposition into. Remember, it must have an object of the preposition. Label the preposition and bring it into class. All right, happy studying.